opening speech to tell this committee the journey of your life to where you are. If you take less than 10 minutes, the better.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name's Rosalinda Soipan Tuya. Born and raised in Narok County. And I must at the onset say that I'm honored and privileged to be among the presidential nominees for cabinet. I take it as, for me, being the first ever Maasai woman to be elevated to such a position. It is a position of privilege for which I'm grateful, and I know the amount of responsibility that lies on my shoulders in that regard. I am a fourth child in a family of 7. Typically growing up, typical village girl. I did tender to my father's cows and sheep alongside my older brother. I attended my primary school within Narok County in a school called Olololunga, or now Olentutu Arid Zone. And from the name, it's one of those institutions established under World Bank funding to support pastoralist communities. And I must say also that I finished my KCPE in that school and emerged as a top girl in the then Narok district. I proceeded on to my high school education in Moi Girls High School in Eldoret, but just for a short stint of 2 years, and had to transfer to the Kenya High School for health-related reasons, and completed my high school in 1998 from the Kenya High School. I proceeded to the University of Nairobi School of Law, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in law in 2002, and immediately went on to the Kenya School of Law for the Advocates Training Program, where I acquired a diploma in law. And thereafter, in 2004, got admitted to the bar as an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And a few years later, after working for about 5 years, I secured a scholarship to study a Master of Laws in Sustainable International Development in the University of Washington in Seattle, USA. Honorable Chair, and I must say at this point that I consider myself a product of opportunity. And I say this because my father happens to be the only one of his 15 siblings to have acquired an education. And the story is long, but even his having to go to school was by chance. And in that regard, then there followed a series of opportunities for my siblings and I, including a few of close family members. But the reason I emphasize this is because I have hundreds of cousins and close family members who have not had an opportunity like I did, just because my father had a chance to go to school. And that has been a driving force for me, because having started off as the village girl that I spoke about, up to a point where I had an opportunity to study abroad on a scholarship, the only difference for me and countless other young girls, and particularly from my community, is opportunity. And that has always pushed me to be able to find a space for that next girl, because I know how important it is to afford somebody an environment to explore their potential. Honorable Speaker, coming to my career progress in terms of work, and I will relate it with the docket for which I'm nominated. I must state that my love and passion for environment again began at a very tender age. My father happens to be a very strict environmentalist. I remember growing in the village, I learned from a very early age the value of a tree, because you could not cut the branch of a tree from my father's homestead without his permission. And that